reminded us our lost tradition of India, Vedic tradition of India. Now I will invite Dr. RORRY mAHER, Honorable Guest and a resource person, to deliver a speech. He is an eminent Homa Agnihotra practitioner from Eco Village, Bhruggu, Aranya, Poland. He is working with his wife, Joanna mAHER, for more than 20 years in Homa herb therapy. They have also established a herbal garden in Poland. They will share their experience relating to ethno medicine development in India. I invite you.
Thank you, Dr. Rabindra and Dr. Mohapatra and all senior scholars for your kind invitation to talk today. We're going to put up a presentation now, so just give us a moment while we set that up. So can you all see that now, the presentation that's on the screen?
Yes, sir. It is seen.
Wonderful. So the ethnomedicine, so the International Virtual Conference, the name, the title of this is Ethnomedicine's Challenges and Opportunities in Global Healthcare. So there's, let's say, I would say environmentally, there are three main challenges that face our health today. There's pollution in the atmosphere, soil and water. That's pollution from agrochemicals, let's say, from industry, acid rain, fossil fuels, all that. There is the fact that nature is out of balance, also largely due because of pollution, but also because of climate change, loss of biodiversity, and the natural disasters. And this is creating an increase in diseases around the planet. And we would say that the pandemic now is a symptom of this nature being out of balance, this environment being out of balance. And the other challenge that humankind are facing today is the decreasing nutritional quality of our foods, which weaken our immune systems and our body's natural defenses. Great, so here we have just a quick slide showing some of the effects of pollution, be it air pollution, water pollution, and soil contamination, and the effects that they have on the body. In fact, air pollution is now being attributed to 9% of deaths globally. That's roughly around 360 million people being affected or dying because of air pollution. Whereas water pollution is contributing to sickness in about 1 billion people. And of course, then polluted soils from conventional farming methods are creating lifeless soils depleted of mineral content. And this leads to foods which are grown in these lifeless soils decreasing in nutritional levels. And this has been ongoing. The longest study that we know of, one main study that was done in the UK from the 1940s, has shown that even carrots have lost 75% of magnesium in those 70 years. The study was conducted in 2010. So in 70 years, we've lost 75% of magnesium. Spinach has lost 53% of its potassium and 60% of its iron. We're often told to eat spinach if you're low in iron. Well, we have to eat a lot more nowadays than we would have done in 1940. And broccoli has also lost 75% of its calcium. Other studies cited by World Watch Institute report that today's food produces 10 to 25% less iron, zinc, protein, calcium, vitamin C, and other nutrients, etc. And this is just one study, and similar studies have shown similar results all around the world, whether it's US or wherever really agrochemical farming, conventional farming has taken hold and deteriorated the mineral content of the soil. And the soils have become lifeless and they do not have the minerals that the plants need for their own development, which we then ingest. Now, those are three main big challenges that the world is facing, and most people would say they are probably helpless or feel helpless in making a change with that. Even organic produce, of course, grown in organic conditions, also is suffering from pollution, from atmospheric pollution, and maybe from pollution from the neighboring runoff farms, the runoff from the neighboring farms. And of course, just general radiation pollution as well in the atmosphere today. So what is the answer? So one answer, as Barry was stating earlier, is homotherapy. And here we have just a simple saying, the science of healing the atmosphere through pyramid fires to eliminate pollution and contamination. So the basic fire in homotherapy is Agnihotra. Agnihotra is a fire, as Barry explained, that's performed at sunrise and sunset every day. And here, by the way, is Jarek Bisberg performing Agnihotra, a big fire. It doesn't have to be this big all the time. And Jarek is the founder of Eco-Village Bulgarania, together with his wife, Parvati. And here at our Eco-Village, for example, we do Agnihotra every day, sunrise and sunset. There are 4 or 5 families living here, and each family will do their own Agnihotra as well, as in the healing temple that we have here. And what we've experienced in our Eco-Village is that the air has become purified, the atmosphere has become more nutritious, and we are able to grow organic vegetables and magnificent herbs all throughout the growing season and into the greenhouse season as well. So what do we have with these fruits? It's just a simple slide showing the materials that were needed for Agnihotra materials, similar to what Barry has said already. So we have the dry down copper pyramid, which has to be the correct dimensions. There are other copper pyramids on sale with handles and maybe with designs imprinted of them, but they're not appropriate for Agnihotra fire. I'm saying this because I know in India those are available for other, I guess, havans or havans. So Agnihotra is specifically done at sunrise and sunset every day. Only at the exact time, because at that time there are special energies that arrive to the planet. And in the description of sunrise in ancient tradition, it states, at sunrise, the many fires, electricities, ethers, and energies emanating from the sun extend all the way to the earth and produce a flood effect at those coordinates where the sun is said to rise. Of course, the sun doesn't rise exactly. The food enlivens and purifies everything in its path, destroying what is impure. This torrent of life-sustaining energies causes all life to rejoice. At sunrise, that music can be heard. The morning Agnihotra mantra is the essence of that music. It is the quintessential sound of that flood. At sunset, the flood recedes. So when we do Agnihotra, we're trying to catch that specific time when that flood of energy is arriving to the planet. And because in ancient times, those who followed the Vedas knew how to use that energy that arrived there to then keep nature in balance, purify the atmosphere, and sow soil and water. And it was our responsibility, or man's responsibility, humankind's, to keep nature in balance. And this knowledge was lost, and as we can see around the world. So here we have a little diagram showing how Agnihotra works. We have the solar energy that comes at that precise time, and with the correct materials that are burned, being cow dung, rice, and the correct mantra uttered exactly at that time, which we get from a timesheet. And also there's now a phone app, an Android or Apple app that gives us the exact time. Then we can see the effect shoots up 12 kilometers into the biosphere and then circulates and comes down and circulates around the pyramid. That is prana, and there's also an effect of resonance. The resonance created by that exact time and the materials burned and the mantra and the copper pyramid creates a resonance effect on the molecular level and on the subtle level in the atmosphere. And so with this very simple tool that anyone can perform, we're able to neutralize pollution, put nutrients into the atmosphere, and so grow wonderful, healthy, nutrient-rich crops. Here are some of the benefits of Agnihotra, of just performing Agnihotra. This is being in the atmosphere of Agnihotra and also sitting for it at the sunrise and sunset. And various experiments have been done by, or facilitated also by Dr. Ulrich Burke in showing that these are actual factual. Agnihotra neutralizes pathogenic bacteria in the surrounding environment. It has an excellent effect on the circulatory system of the human being. It renews the brain cells. It revitalizes the skin, purifies the blood, boosts the immune system, relieves tension on the mind, which is a great tool in this day and age where there's a lot of fear and panic due to the pandemic. And we have found that Agnihotra is a great way of relieving stress and fear and panic. And it also neutralizes radiation and its effects on the body. So actually we take Agnihotra ash for this purpose, and we'll talk a bit more about that as we move along. So by performing Agnihotra, a magnetic type field is created which neutralizes negative energy and reinforces positive energy. So in this way, we can say Agnihotra also helps to protect you from electromagnetic pollution. So all these factors of the environment, of our low quality nutritional level of food, climate change and everything are often things that we think are beyond our control, or how we are powerless to do. We can show with homotherapy and Agnihotra, we can actually make a change, either within our own little surrounding in our gardens and farms, and on a mass scale, if everyone were to do it on a big scale, we could have a more bigger effect in large areas of land. So we would say, so this saying by Hippocrates a couple of thousand years ago, let food be thy medicine and let medicine be thy food. It would be hard to say that today with the conventional crops that are grown and that we are eating. They say now that we would need, one study said 4 oranges we would have to eat today to have the same vitamin C as we had in 1940. In another study, it said is eating 1. So 4 oranges today, you'd have to eat 1 orange in 1940. Another study said we would have to eat 8 oranges compared to that, to the 1 orange in 1940. At Dharwad Agricultural University in Karnataka, South India, there were some theses that were, 4 theses were performed, and this is just a small sample of their results that they found, where they found in soybeans, after using homotherapy and homotherapy methods, soybeans increased by 5% in protein content and 9.5% increase in oil content. And this is compared also to organically grown produce and conventional grown produce. So this is better than organic. And then as we can see, there are some other things there. In general, there you can see, because of time limitation, I won't read everything, but you can see there was an increase in ascorbic acid, which is vitamin C, free phenols, which is very good for antioxidant protection of the body, and then all the microelements and copper, zinc, manganese. And in tomatoes as well, there's ascorbic acid of over 40%. So as you can see, then we can say with homogrown produce that food becomes or returns to being medicine again. And here's just a slide showing our homo-organic produce from Eco Village Oranje. This is what we grow here at the Eco Village. We feed ourselves from that largely throughout the year. We have herbs, we make medicinal teas, we make our own breads. Honey, we also have honeybees here, and honeybees, of course, in a homo atmosphere again, homo being in an atmosphere where Agnihotra fire is performed, and there are some other additional fires that are also performed throughout the day. In a homo atmosphere, we are also able to have successful beekeeping enterprise here, where the bees have a very successful, healthy, high survival rate. And also the medicinal is highly medicinal and nutritious. And we can also use, of course, propolis, which comes from the hive, which is also medicinal. And although we don't use it, people do use royal jelly, although we don't take from the bees in that way. So, you know, of course, bees, honeybees, and all insects is a major problem, where in some areas, even in Germany, one German study in a nature reserve saw that the insects had dropped by 70%. That's across the board, not just honeybees. And of course, honeybee collapse is going on everywhere. So if honeybees are a barometer of the state of our environment, we could say, because of the success of our beekeeping here, that we're having very good effects from Agnihotra and homotherapy. Beekeepers in the local area around here, we have beekeepers with 40 years experience who have lost all their hives, or practically all their hives, because of be it disease or colony collapse disorder. And of course, as well as vegetables and crops that have high nutritional value, one wonderful thing that we can say, and that's said in Vedic scripture, is that Homa herbs grown in a Homa atmosphere have greater medicinal properties, which is wonderful, because if you have more stronger medicinal properties, we have the greater strength of remedy, the better the remedy. So now Asha, who's a wonderful herbalist, my wife here and partner, she's going to talk a bit more about Homa herbs and about Agnihotra ash medicines, which are another important element of Homa therapy and Agnihotra.
Well, these are just some examples of the herbs that we growing here. Actually, I would like to start with Agnihotra ash. So this is why is this so special, this ash? It's because all these energies that come during sunrise and sunset are locked in this ash. And this healing energy can be used in many different ways. So like we have more experience how to use it as a medicine, but a lot of people use it to purify water. And we know that some people have really amazing effects of purifying the water in their wells. For example, our good friends from Australia managed to turn their water on their land where they have had a well from water that wasn't appropriate for drinking because of its high alkaline and salinity. They, just by putting ash regularly in water, they turned the water into water that was good for drinking. And this was actually tested by local, I don't know, government or local people who were basically so surprised, because there was no explanation why this would happen if all the neighbors around had the same not very good water. So that's one way. Also, neutralizing radiation is very important, because actually ash is so far, I think, only one known substance that was tested that is able to neutralize radioactivity or lower it. So some of these tests, you can the results you can read in some publications of Ulrich Berg. At the end of the presentation, we'll give you some links, helpful links, and of course, ash is widely used in gardening and farming, which we also use here. Actually, I can say that our farm is located in the mountains. It has very short growing season, and soil is pretty bad. It's basically clay and stone. And like we did tests on the beginning in laboratory, they told us, please forget about growing vegetables, because it's a very hard soil to grow vegetables, very acidic. But this didn't stop us, and with help of homotherapy, we managed to grow everything. And one thing that I know, actually today was also another conference where Abhay Desai was speaking. This is a person who knows exactly what is the difference between conventional farming and homotherapy gardening, farming actually, because he experienced both of them. And now he's doing amazing work of educating and showing people how to do it and what results you can get. That's actually, I really recommend to see what see what he has to say. He's got also very nice presentations.
He has a farm in Belgaum, Karnataka, India.
So I just tell you one basic thing in Poland. This is actually a herb workshop that we were doing here in Brugwarania, but I must say that in Poland there is a long tradition of herbalism, and people still use a lot of herbs. You can even go to a chemist and they still have on the shelf a lot of herbal remedies, herbal teas, and people are interested in it. A lot of them remember, even our grandmothers remember what to do with herbs, and a lot of people are coming back to this knowledge. So I actually grew up in a family where my mother was using herbs. She was collecting them. I often helped her. She was treating the most simple ailments with the herbs before taking us to the doctor. So I took a lot of experience and knowledge from here, from her. And then when I moved to Eco Village Brugwarania, there was already a lot of wild herbs growing. So I kind of developed together with RORRY knowledge and about how to use them, and we use it on a daily basis, helping the family and friends with good effects. But what's interesting is, of course, when I got to know Agnihotra, I learned that ash is very medicinal. And what I did, I combined both of these, herbs and ash medicine, together to create even more powerful remedies. So here you have some examples of ash medicine. It's very simple. And the main thing is, of course, the ash, which I have to tell you that if you take the same ingredients and you take the copper pyramid and you perform fire that looks exactly like Agnihotra using the same mantras, but it's not at the time of sunrise or sunset, these energies don't come and the properties of the ash are not the same. So there are even tests being done, and it's proven that that only Agnihotra ash has these healing properties. So the other ashes from the other fires that we do perform here, we don't use for medicine. Well, we mainly put it for compost, actually. Okay, so the basic thing to start any preparations is it's Agnihotra ash powder. So before you use it, you should strain it through or sieve it through a little sieve. So you throw away the bigger pieces, some unburned rice, and you create like a very fine powder that is much easier to use. Like here, it's so easy to make, children can make the medicine. Yeah, people putting in drinking water. You can do all those listed here things with ash, and actually a lot of research and good publication that Monika Koch. I'll also give you a link to her website. She wrote a book. She was actually a pharmacist who took the knowledge about homotherapy and ash medicine, put it together, and created a wonderful book, How to Use the Ash. So you should look that up. And I'm not gonna describe all those different preparations because we don't have much time. The most important, I would say, is Agnihotra ash water. That's very easy to do. You just add a little bit of ash, maybe teaspoon of ash per 1 liter of water, because it actually, what we're doing, we're adding energy. So it's not about putting more ash into the water. This doesn't change it. You have to put just a little bit for the information, for the energetic effect. And well, the water is it's really good way of taking ash, because if you can take ash as a powder, but you might get it stuck in your throat. So with water is the best way to take it. And according to Ayurveda, the best way is preventative way is to take ash 3 times a day. What we do, to not forget to take ash regularly, we just have at home like 2 jugs filled with water where we put ash. When the jugs are empty, we just add water and add a little bit of ash, and this way the whole family, me, RORRY and children, are continuously ingesting ash. So that's a good way, easy way to do it without much effort. And the other thing is Agnihotra ash or ghee ointment. Well, ghee is widely known in Ayurveda, has amazing effects. It's a very good substance that also doesn't go bad. You don't need to refrigerate it. You don't need to do anything specific, can last for years without getting spoiled. So it's a perfect medium to use. And it's just simply you mix ash with ghee, and like you see here, children are trying to use it, put it on their skin, well, there is a lot of people who were reporting amazing effects. What this Agnihotra ash ointment does to problems with the skin. So there's a lot of information. A lot of people deal with eczema. The burns are healing much faster. The wounds are healing faster. So it's I really recommend to try it and see what happens. But also it can be used internally. So heart patients and people with kidney problems are also will benefit from it. But I can say that even if we have problems with internal organs and we use the ointment just on our skin in the area where the organ is, that ghee will be able to penetrate deep into tissues and carry the healing energies to the internal organs. So here, what we do here, especially in Guarani, are home herb remedies, and it's simply putting ash with the herbal preparations and creating very powerful remedies. Actually, Agnihotra and ash enhances everything. What is natural and good for life, it's always enhancing. Here we have, I mean, there are so many things you can do with that, but I can just tell what is my experience. So it's very easy to do herbal infusions, which are simply teas, and you just put a little bit, pinch of ash in your teacup or in a jug that where you're infusing herbs. The concoctions is the same thing, it's just you boil it for a longer time. And the syrups, you basically add a little bit of ash. We actually try to use more honey instead of sugar. So we doing syrups based with honey, which it's not heated actually. And one of my favorite preparations is medicated ghee, which is basically using ghee as a carrier, and you infuse the ghee with the herbs by using heat, and you add ash to it, and then you strain it, and you have amazing ointments. There are herbal ointments based with ghee, which again, it's not gonna go bad so fast. You don't need to refrigerate it. It lasts for many years. And we also like to do tinctures. And instead of alcohol, we actually use apple cider vinegar because it has healing properties itself. And is preserving, so for me it's a great combination. I don't like to use alcohol, I don't drink alcohol, and I don't like to give it to my children, so we use apple cider vinegar, and it works very well. And you, of course, add the ash. Of course, you can do compresses where you, before you apply the compress, you can just put ghee and ash on your skin, and that works very well. For example, infused oils, which is also very easy, where you pick fresh herbs, you pour oil over it, you add ash, and you leave it for at least 2 weeks. The best in a warm place or in the sun, and then you strain it, and you have a beautiful oils that are that have herbal properties. So you can do all of that, and it's not complicated. We actually do some workshops for normal people who can later use that knowledge and create it all in their kitchen. They don't need special equipment, and they can use sometimes materials that they already have in their kitchen. So you want to read that?
Yeah, so that's great, thanks. So just to wrap this up, you know, there are many wonderful natural therapies and herbal medicines that treat the body holistically. Holistically mean not just a symptom, but the whole body. But there are very limited or few that would treat the environment in which one lives in. So I would say that because of Agnihotra fire and combined with the Agnihotra ash and Homa herbs, we are able to not only heal the mind, body and soul, but also the environment in which one lives. And this is true holistic medicine, because as soon as, with other natural therapies, as soon as you finish that, you're again being bombarded by pollution, chemicals, low foods, and the environment. So with aromatherapy in your own house, by practicing Agnihotra in your own house, you are creating a healthy, healing environment in which to live in. And if you practice on a farm, even greater, you can grow things. And a lot of these things, actually, even in your own house, if you live in an apartment, if you have a roof garden, you can grow vegetables and herbs on the roof plant, pots of herbs on a windowsill, be it whatever, ashwagandha and tulsi, and even culinary herbs have very potent medicinal values in the Homa atmosphere. So just to wrap up, I mean, for us, it's a very, in this eco village, we do Agnihotra around the clock every day, and we do other fires as well, 5 hours a day. And it's a way of life for us, where the village, all of us take part in maintaining that. So creating the atmosphere and growing the food and using herbs. So just to read this here, I would say that anyone from any walk of life can perform Agnihotra. It is so simple, it only takes a few minutes of your time. Each Agnihotra that is performed helps to heal the earth. There are many people who have found deep fulfillment to their lives by performing this act of kindness of Agnihotra daily. Anyone can become steward of this beautiful planet that we share with all of life. So if you have a moment and have 5 minutes of your time in the morning and evening, Agnihotra is good for you, good for all of life, good for nature, and you can share wonderful remedies, ash and medicines with the whole family.
Actually, I just add something that we, actually people all over the world know that this ash, Agnihotra ash, is not, you can't sell it. You shouldn't charge people money for that. This is something to share. It's a gift.
Mm-hmm. And Agnihotra is always taught for free.
Yeah.
There's no monetary value in it. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you. And the last is just links that we have here. The first one is actually our website here in Poland. Homatherapy.de is where Ulrich has all his amazing articles about his scientific research. I recommend that. And also more Homatherapy India and Homa Farming, which is Bruce.
Mm-hmm. Homatherapy India is in Tapovan. It's a farm that they have in Tapovan where they also grow herbs and food and crops.
And there you will find a lot of articles to do with Homa farming. So people experiences, what effects they had. So it's a lot of information there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. RORRY MAHER and Joanna MAHER, for your excellent